that turn out little more than waste, fraud, and lots of red tape, miraculously there's one that actually does what it's supposed to do. It's called Unicor, and it's run by the Federal Bureau of Prisons. As we reported in 1996, what Unicor does is take federal convicts who otherwise would be watching television or lifting weights and puts them to work. It teaches them a job skill and in the process keeps them out of trouble. Every morning, 5 days a week, some 20,000 robbers, rapists, drug dealers, murderers, and assorted criminals roll out of bed in their prison cells and go to work right on the jail grounds, all under very close supervision, filing through a metal detector and subject to random pat-downs.
They're not covered by Fair Labor Standards Act, minimum wage laws. They don't get retirement benefits, unemployment compensation, etc. They're workers, but they're not employees.
Steve Schwab is the chief operating officer of Unicor, a company wholly owned by the federal government that operates 100 factories like this one inside the maximum security penitentiary at Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. While inmates don't enjoy many rights, they do get a salary, anywhere from less than a quarter to $1.15 an hour. How much are you earning?
Right now?
Yeah.
23 cents an hour.
23 cents an hour. Is it worth it?
I keep me busy.
Keeping inmates too busy to make trouble is the point.
You know, the prison authorities here tell us that Unicor prevents violence and prisoners acting up. Do you think that's true?
Bitch.
Why is it true? Well, Melvin Begayon, who's serving a life sentence for murdering an FBI agent, says it's basic prison economics. If convicts have money, even a little bit of it, they're less likely to prey on one another.
If I saw you with a big bag of commissary, and I'm not able to go to the store, I'm going to take yours.
Just take it.
I'm going to take it. That's what I do.
Begayon says Unicor allows him to earn an honest living. He's one of those in the top salary bracket. He makes $1.15 an hour. And like all inmates, he must use the money to pay off any court-ordered fines, such as child support or victim restitution. But he pays no room and board and gets to keep the lion's share of what he makes. It may sound like pocket change to you, but it adds up.
I've been in Unicor since 1979. I imagine I've earned about $20,000 to $30,000.
$20,000 to $30,000.
Do you know how much you paid in salaries to inmates, say, over the last year?
During this coming year, we're going to pay approximately $35 million total to all the inmate population.
$35 million. But without Unicor, Schwab says the Bureau of Prisons would have to spend at least that much for additional security, like hiring more guards. Now, how much does the taxpayer have to pay the federal government so that you can pay these prison workers?
Nothing.
That's because Unicor, by law, can only spend what it makes. And like a private business, it publishes an annual report, slick product brochures, and twice a year, Steve Schwab is the master of ceremonies at Unicor's very own trade show. This one at San Francisco's Moscone Convention Center.
You buy it, you take it out of the box, you set it up, it's a beautiful product.
Unicor sells 150 products. It's the Bloomingdale's of prison industries. They sell prescription glasses, safety eyewear, linens, monogrammed towels, executive office furniture, bedroom sets, gloves, brooms and brushes of all kinds, even targets for target practice. I'm still thinking that the guy who decides what the prisoners are going to make has a terrific sense of humor. And it doesn't stop there. Prisoners also make holsters and bulletproof vests for federal law enforcement agencies. The prisoners are making bulletproof vests.
Absolutely.
Do you see any humor there?
Well, I see a little bit of irony, but the
You're not going to smile.
The things are made to a very exacting standard that the customer specified. We've never had any quality problems, never had anybody injured. They're made to stop handgun fire.
They also make cables and electronic component parts for Army tanks, jet fighters, and the Patriot missile, the same ground-to-air missile used in the Persian Gulf War. In short, there isn't much that Unicor doesn't make, and its sales are going sky high.
What we're being driven by is the public policy of this country, which is put more people in prison for longer periods of time. Those prisons are going to have factories because we have to manage the population in those prisons.
Back in 1934, when Congress created Unicor, it restricted its sales to one and only one customer, the federal government. The reason? To prevent Unicor's cheap prison labor from undercutting private industry in the commercial marketplace. But Congress also armed Unicor with one big advantage. It gets first crack at the government's business, even at the expense of private companies competing for the same work. This is a special treatment that many labor unions and private businessmen call super preference. Businessmen like Sam Brickell, the owner of a third-generation family-run textile mill in Woonsocket, Rhode Island.
It's huge.
Huge, and nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening because Brickell lost $5 million in business to Unicor thanks to the super preference.
Just like that, bing, we're done. We're finished. I'm smiling now, but it's a real sad commentary on what went on here.
What went on here is that Brickell saw an opportunity to make a cheaper and better blanket for the Defense Department. He invested $100,000, drew up the specs, and was awarded a contract. But when it came time to renew the contract, Unicor decided it wanted the business. So it copied his blanket design and snatched up the contract.
Prisoners are making that blanket,
Prisoners are making this blanket.
and they are all the specs that you developed with your own money that you never recouped.
That's correct.
Is that kosher? Is that legal?
I assume it's legal because the government has mandated that Unicor can do this.
And then they underbid you, or they just took it away?
Oh, no. They're allowed to take it at any price. This is where it becomes real interesting.
We're not required by law to be the lowest cost producer in the market. We're required to produce a product within the current market price range.
Because of super preference, Unicor won the contract even though its bid amounted to $2.5 million more than Brickell's.
But is that fair?
Sure it is.
Well, that's not competitive. The guy puts out a bid, he underbids you, it's his product to begin with, and then you get the contract.
The customer makes the decision about what the quality and the price and the delivery requirements are.
Well, because he's under an order, a mandate to buy it from you if he can, a mandate.
But only if we can provide products which meet the quality, price, and delivery that the customer wants. If not, we waive the work and it goes to the private sector.
As a businessman, it's sickening because our people knew that we won this bid. We were very excited about it, you know? And now, like that, you shut down a factory. Let 50 people go.
You had to fire 50 people?
Yeah, all inner city people. By the way, averaging $8 to $10 an hour with benefits. I mean, that's wonderful.
Unicor is taking jobs of hardworking, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens and giving them to criminals.
Michael Gale is a director of the American Apparel Manufacturers Association. He says his industry has lost about 7,000 jobs to prisoners. In some cases, like combat helmets and flak jackets for the U.S. military, Unicor now owns 100% of the market. And they're heading toward a monopoly in combat fatigues.
In terms of apparel, if they want it, they take it. And what they have done is they have concentrated their efforts on some very critical items that our companies were making before and are not making now.
Furniture manufacturers, they're complaining. Apparel manufacturers, they're complaining. You have a lot of businessmen out there, usually small businessmen, who say you are taking jobs away from them.
Leslie, we're not taking jobs away from the private sector.
In fact, with charts and studies in hand, Schwab argues that Unicor, through its purchases of raw materials, creates jobs. And he says if businessmen like Sam Brickell are losing out, it's because they just can't cut it.
There's competition, there's mergers, there's downsizing. And so it's easy to look past those issues and say, well, the reason I lost these jobs or because I've had a business downturn is because of prison industries.
I can compete with anybody, any place in the world, which we do on a constant basis, but I can't do it when somebody from the government says, hey, we want that bid and we're allowed to take it at any price that we want. That's crap.
Unicor says that first and foremost, this program helps keep these prisons safe, and that's really the main reason for this. I mean, idle hands are the devil's workshop. I mean, we've heard that a million times. They want to keep these prisoners busy, and they say this is a great program to do that.
It is. I'm sure it is. I'm sure that they will accomplish everything that they want to do with this. But tell me what to do with the 50 people I laid off. I think it's necessary that these people are trained and work, but it's not the answer to give them our jobs. You don't do that. There's got to be another way.
I've heard of an idea floating around Congress to let businessmen like you come into the prisons and hire them to do some of your labor.
It's a wonderful idea, but it's not my way of doing business. We've been around here too long. We have people that work here, people from the city. I want my people here. I'm proud of this place. We built it, you know. It's a passion of mine. I don't want to have my plant in a prison. Where do I have a Christmas party?
You have it right where you throw the company barbecue, in prison. This picnic party for inmate workers is taking place at a state prison in Utah, one of 22 states that have lured private industry to open shop behind bars, sometimes with surprising results. Convicts in Nevada assemble limousines and restore snazzy vintage cars. These inmates in Washington answer calls for the state government. Other prisoners work the phones for a private telemarketing firm. They not only raise donations for charity, but in the last election, they worked on the congressional campaign of this law and order Republican. And if you booked a flight on TWA recently, there's a chance the person who took your reservation, the person whom you gave your credit card and mailing information to, was a prisoner in California. And in Utah, convicted felons sit at sewing machines making extreme cold weather gear that is sold to sportsmen, workers in the Antarctic, and the U.S. Navy SEALs.
Did you ever think, big guy like you, you'd end up sewing?
No, never thought so.
Fred Gonzalez, the owner of the company called Northern Outfitters, never thought he'd be running a business behind bars either.
Many of my peers wonder how I did it, you know, whether I like it or not. But
do you like it?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
What he likes most are the financial advantages of a prison business, namely getting to hire the cream of the crop from a pool of cheap prison labor, not to mention the use of this brand new air-conditioned factory space rent-free.
It's a fantastic deal all the way around.
Yeah. In a way, but on the other side of the coin, there's a number of problems that I have to deal with that the person on the outside doesn't.
Like what? Well, we happen to be right there for one of them.
We have an escape. There's a prisoner that's actually escaped.
He went code red on the radio, we went code red on the phone.
The jailbreak, the second in a month, did not involve any of Gonzalez's workers, but they still had to turn in their tools and return to their cells while prison officials looked for the escapee, shutting down Gonzalez's operation for nearly the entire day. It's the price of doing business in prison.
It's amazing, isn't it?
But not all discouraging. In the 4 years since that prison break, Fred Gonzalez is not only still there, he's expanded. Production capacity is up by 1/3, and he's more than doubled his prison workforce. As for Unicor, it's expanding too, along with the prison population. In the next 5 years, it expects to have factories in almost all of the 30 new federal penitentiaries slated to open.
Layup, 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 layup. Bust is loose! Oh, don't you know? That's the sound of the men. Get back! Working on the chain. One more. Hey, you know? That's the sound of the men. Working on the chain. One peak. Gang. Keep it strong. Yeah. Oh, don't you know? That's the sound of the men working on the chain. One more. Gang. Don't you know? That's the sound of the men working on the chain. Gang. Can you even say it? Ooh, I feel good. Ooh, I feel good. You know. That's the sound of the men working on the chain. One more. Gang. Don't you know? That's the sound of the men working on the chain. Gang. Can you even say it? Ooh, keep it right there. Yeah. Ooh, come on. Ooh, sweet. Ooh, sing for me. I'm thirsty, my. Working so hard, see my woman, who I love so didn't mean wow. Got to stay right here, give me one. Soul Patrol. Oh, don't you know?
What up, niggas? What's up, nigga? The Compton Psycho is back. In your shit for the 9 deuce. Yeah. And check this out. My nigga Scarface is in the motherfucking house.
I'm walking down the block with a pocket full of rocks. What up, man?
And we about to drop some gangster shit.
Word up.
I guess it's true what they say. When you're too far gone, ain't no turning back. And coming from the Compton Mac, that's a fucking fact. Living in the city where bitches won't give up the pokey for free, so a nigga don't. So here's my story, another story about a nigga who lives his life by the fucking trigger. Gotta get my servo, nigga, you don't hear me though. They'll whip the hood, might blast on 5-0. First I hit the otters and get pumped up. Now I'm rolling in the car, kinda slumped up. I pop the glove box, then I reach the block. Then I plug your ass in the chest with the Glock. And that's how the shits get done. I guess I'm a motherfucking nigga on the run, but I won't let them take me alive so I don't sleep. Cause yeah, I'm in too deep.
In too deep. Ain't no turning back. Cock up your motherfucking game.
Mr. Scarface for the 9 deuce. Niggas packing 9, fuck you bitch, I pack a 9.2mm Ruger for you hoes who try to flex nuts. You pour your shit, I pour my shit. Come nigga, now let's check nuts. Born a hustler, raised a hustler, never gonna stop. Drake, fuck a hustler, motherfucker, boy, you better die, bitch. Found myself a buster, had the boy from me in OC. Fucked him out his money, worked my way up to a whole key. Now he's got some niggas trying to ball face. Time to go to work, need some back, better call late. Call my nigga up, kick the fundamentals. 2-way ticket, 3 o'clock, continental. 8 rolled in with the motherfucking task force. Bumped them hoes off, dropped them off at the airport. Niggas don't never fuck with me, cause I'm a nigga who plays the game for keeps. Drop you on your ass with the quickness, cause I'm in too deep.
Criminals is in the motherfucking house. Now they got us on the run, but we tired of running. Got the Glocks all cocked, let the fools keep coming. Scarface got the motherfucking pump under the seat, so niggas better duck or your ass is fucked. Yeah, the madman with nothing to lose, so you better bring a strap or catch the blues. And or get served like a damn clucker, sucker, or in the end be a show motherfucker. Now the 1 times is all on my back, and heard the 80 Scarface peeled the cap, and they wanna gaffle us up, but it's a shame. Can't fake the best from Compton and the Midwest. So watch your back when the niggas step, cause the scene is what's left is your whole family's death. And fool don't sleep, cause sorry motherfucker, we in too deep. Yeah. And your shit for the 9 deuce. MC in the motherfucking house. With my nigga Scarface and shit. DJ Slip in the motherfucking house. And we killing this shit off.